So first, gonna take a step back and really mention, why are we talking technology, specifically showcasing some of these in, truly the comforts of your own home. And I think what's really exciting slash kind of comical, right, is this first image. I think a lot of us can relate to this, at least I know from my own family's operation. It looks a little bit like this. Of there's probably paper spread miles around from your home office to the barn to your pickup truck, and then probably even a notebook that's in your back pocket right now as you watch this. But you're tracking data, but the real question is, right, how are you using it? And the folks here in this room today are part of this technology boom that's really hitting the agricultural space. And obviously technology's been around for a while, but what's really exciting is that there's some really strong and powerful technology that's being produced, as well as SaaS, or software as a service, solutions like Landtrust. And the goal is, right, that we're equipping you all as producers to run more profitable and efficient businesses, with however that means to you, whether it's looking at your bottom line, looking at the genetics that you're using, or even just managing water on your operation. We all are working towards setting you all up for success. And with AgriWebb specifically, we've built what we're calling the AgriWebb Marketplace. So anybody in the room here is actually a part of our AgriWebb Marketplace. Our mission is to, again, equip you all with the best tools and solutions to run a more efficient, profitable, and sustainable business. And these are the folks that are helping you do that. And so whether it's animal tracking or livestock management to a value-added service that's bringing in added revenue streams, as well as then water management, right? We've got some really cool solutions that we're excited to not only share with you today, but also for those that are already AgriWebb customers, lock in and actually use them right there within the AgriWebb platform. So without further ado, I see we have somebody in the chat, so I'll be sure to welcome you, but I'm going to hand things over to Jessica Robb with Ranchbot, and she's going to walk you through their remote water monitoring solutions.
Thank you. Let me share my screen. And let me know whenever you can see it, please.
Perfect, we'll do. All right, we see the screen. Looks good.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Jessica Robb, and I am the Customer Relations Manager at Ranchbot. Ranchbot is a monitoring solution made by ranchers for ranchers, and we are made and manufactured in Texas. So let's jump right in. Every rancher's first thought of the day is about the weather and about the water. I know this from firsthand experience, as I'm sure you all can agree with me on this. And Ranchbot found that ranchers need a cost-effective solution that can provide that certainty and give them that peace of mind about their water resources, knowing their livestock has water. So if we look back at traditional water management practices and what those have looked like, they really haven't changed in the past 50 years to what they kind of look like today. We drive out to the water, we check it 95% of the time. It doesn't need checking, but that 5% of the time we aren't out there checking it is when it's most critical. And that's always how it works, right? And so we've found that it's extremely labor intensive and costly. It takes a lot of time and effort out of a rancher's day to constantly drive around to waters, but you can't afford not to do it. And it's extremely costly with the cost of labor and the wear and tear that is put on these vehicles. It's taking a lot of money out of these ranchers' pockets, and we're here to help with that. It is also very slow and unreliable. It takes a lot of time to get out to those water tanks. I know for my family, we have one that's 60 miles one way, and that takes a whole half a day. And if anything's wrong at that tank, that takes an extra few hours if you don't have all your tools and resources. And so it's very time consuming and unreliable. So you can get to that water tank, and you can get there and everything looks fine, and you turn around, but you don't know what happened as soon as you turn the vehicle around and went home. Or you could fix something and turn around and think it's fixed, and it's not. So we really want to help ranchers be proactive versus what we kind of have been doing is being reactive. And the best time to know about your water is now. The best time to know about issues at your water tanks is right now. It's not tomorrow. It's not next week when you have time to go check and get out there, because that just can't happen. And that could be extremely critical. So I'm going to show you all a quick clip. This is Bar T Bar Ranch in Arizona. These are real ranchers seeing real results with their ranch bot.
If a rancher is looking to improve efficiency, Ranchbot is a huge opportunity at a very reasonable cost that will improve communication in a landscape size operation.
Well, we spend quite a bit of time checking waters, starting generators, opening valves.
Ranchbot is a remote monitoring solution using IMASET technology to provide two-way communications that allows ranchers to have real-time visibility around their water assets and their infrastructure on their ranch. They can manage their water and pumps in real time, get alerts when there's problems, and know when there's issues that they need to solve. Animals without water, of course, it's a major issue.
The Inmarsat connectivity through the satellite allows us to connect super fast to any of the monitors and is very reliable. I can change things, start things, stop things, whatever I need to do, I can do straight from my phone. Now we have 5 monitors, 4 water monitors, rain gauge, 2 generators, and wells with remote switches. By having the Ranchbot, we're saving money on fuel, labor, and wear and tear on vehicles because we can monitor our water, we can monitor our fuel and our generators, and we can change valves remotely. The time that we're saving, we can do other projects on the ranch and try to make more improvements.
Ranchbot is one of those tools we'll be able to use that will allow those people to get home to their wives and family. It's a huge relief in my view.
I would recommend it to anybody who has storages and water and need to monitor, and it'll make their day go a lot easier. I don't think I consider myself to be a space cowboy. I do, however, think the technology that we're using with Ranchbot will help a lot of ranchers in the future.
So what does a RanchBot solution look like? At RanchBot, we advocate and we use real-time satellite communications, providing those real-time alerts. Our solutions are reliable and trusted in the most remote areas and weather connections with that really strong satellite communication. And whenever you have a RanchBot solution, we get you set up on what we call the My RanchBot platform. And that is directly done through the customer relations team. And so you'll be speaking directly to us. We'll get you set up on your phone or laptop. And you can see in the top left-hand corner, this is what your portal will look like. So you'll be able to click into all the different tabs, your different water tanks, and look at each and every one and really dig deep in that data, see all of those data points, all of the reading points, and receive those alerts to your phone or email. So we can set completely customized alert levels. So low level alert levels, your high level, and also your rapidly falling level. So you'll have that real time visibility of trends and your water levels through the My RanchBot portal. So again, these event driven alerts to your cell phone and email, you know exactly when there's a problem, when there is a problem. Like I said, the only way or the best way to know about your water is to know now and when it's happening versus down the road when things get really hairy with your livestock. You can see real time leaks and faults. See that historical data to where you can learn more about your water sources and what they've historically done, and see what things might need to be changed on the ranch. You can track those trends and monitor when and how much your stock is drinking. So, not only seeing your water sources trends, but seeing your livestock trends as well. Again, this is all completely customizable based on your specific preferences, and we can add as many folks on that platform as you would like to look at that data and receive those alerts. So, RanchBot's helping you manage your operation more efficiently. This is our goal, to save time, to save you money, and to give you that peace of mind. Because we know we want to make sure our ranchers are waking up in the morning and going to bed at night knowing that all is well at each of their water tanks, all is well with their livestock. Livestock has water, because we know, again, that is top priority every single day. So our solution is an easy out-of-the-box solution with all fittings included, no technicians required. It only takes 10 to 15 minutes to install. We wanted to make sure this was extremely user-friendly. We all know none of us are going to read the instructions, and so we made it extremely easy to install. I know this because I've done it, and if I can do it, absolutely anybody can do it. So we're going to jump right into our solutions. This is our main water level monitor. This is kind of like our hub monitor. It has a lot of capabilities. It can do a lot of different things, but this is what you're going to put on that water tank that's going to detect your leaks and faults. It's going to send you those real-time alerts like we talked about earlier, those low, high, or dropping quickly alerts. It can work anywhere, like I mentioned, via satellite in the most remote locations, because we know ranches don't always have the best service. So these can work absolutely anywhere. And as you can see, they are also solar powered. So we also do have backup batteries. So if you don't have sunshine for a few days, it is no problem at all. These will still work perfectly and give you that real-time data. Also, in the most extreme weather conditions, these have been tested through and through. So they have been through it all. So next up, we have our rain gauges. We heard from ranchers, okay, great, I don't have to go check my water tank, but I still have to drive around and check and empty my rain gauge. So we have our digital rain gauge. And this is an add-on to the water level monitor. So this plugs in right directly into the back of that monitor. It has a self-emptying tipping bucket inside. And that automates your rainfall data and makes that record keeping a lot easier. We know ranchers, my family for sure, keeps that historical rainfall. So we can look back years ago and see, what rainfall we had and how things looked that year. So that can be analyzed daily, weekly, monthly. This can be exported to a CSV file if you need to get that out. And on your bottom left-hand screen, you'll see that that's how it's going to look on your My Ranchbot portal. These rain gauges are self-installable and immediately operational also. So next up, we have remote pump control. So we don't have to check our water tanks. We don't have to go empty rain gauges. Okay, but I still have to, at the end of the day, go out and turn on my pump. So with our remote pump control, you can remotely start and stop your pumps anywhere, anytime. You can automate your pump based on your destination tank levels. So you can either decide to manually start and stop either from on site at the pump itself on that box that you can see on your screen, or you can do it directly from your My Ranchbot portal with that start and stop button. Or we can also automate your levels. So whenever your destination tank gets to a certain high level, it'll tell that pump to turn off. And when it gets to a certain low level, it'll kick that pump to turn back on to reach that next level. So completely customizable. This is the same real-time alerts. So when the pump starts and when it stops, you'll be alerted. If there's an error, you'll be alerted as well. So this is a really cool pump control that we're getting a lot of great feedback on. Saves a lot of time, a lot of money, and again, giving ranchers that peace of mind. Lastly, we wanted to share with y'all our latest launch, which is Ranchbot Lite. So this is, for maybe your smaller operation, you're looking to monitor, those one-off tanks way out there that are a bit smaller, and maybe rainwater tanks. So this light will do the same thing. It'll give you those real-time alerts when the level is low, high, or dropping quickly. So the same event-driven real-time alerts, still with that satellite communication, working anywhere. Again, can go through those extreme weather conditions. This is battery powered, and it is for those tanks that are about 10 foot deep or less. This is different. You cannot have any add-ons, so you cannot add a rain gauge or any of our other stuff, any pump control like that. This light has one job and one job only, and it is to monitor a single water tank. But we wanted to showcase this for you all because it is new and very exciting. So at the end of the day, our goal is to empower ranchers. We want to give you all that complete certainty, that peace of mind. That is why we have the best, most reliable satellite network connectivity with that event-driven alert in near real time. letting you know when a problem is occurring, when it has occurred, not hours down the road, not days down the road. Our solutions are always on duty 24/7. They never take vacation. They show up on time every day. They don't talk back. So they're really wonderful. We're also empowering ranchers to make better decisions, track trends, track your water usage, and then action those water issues when they happen again, not when they're found. And this also helps with planning resource allocation at ranches. And also, we want to make sure y'all are cost effective. We want to save you time and money. We want to reduce that fuel and labor cost for you all, because as we all know, it is extremely high right now for both of those, fuel and labor. Ranchbot is actually the cheapest insurance for your livestock. We reduce manual water inspections by 90%. So make sure you're going out to the water only when it absolutely needs to be looked at. So thank you again for joining. We do have a promo code AgriWebb for 50% off a 1-year subscription. That is valid through October 31st, and that can be used through our website, or if you wanted to just give us a call, just mention AgriWebb and we'll get that done for you as well. AgriWebb, thank you so much for hosting this and having us. We are proud to have a partner with you. Thank you.
Thanks, Jessica. And one, congratulations on Ranchbot Lite. That's super exciting. And then two, obviously everybody loves a product that doesn't speak back to you or talk back to you on a bad day. So love that one inserted in there. So, well, thank you so much. We will pass things over just for sake of time, but if you have any questions for Jessica, we will answer those at the end of this. So if you have any questions, put them in the Q&A. But like I said, if you want to stop sharing your screen, Jessica will have Wes share his screen now, and I will confirm when we see that up and running. But again, thank you so much. Perfect. Looks great.
Okay. My name's Wes Chisholm with Gallagher, North America. And I'm just going to walk you guys through just a little bit of what we bring to the table for animal management. First things first, though, we do need to make a comment that Gallagher's been in the business for 85 years. We're celebrating a birthday this year, and it's something we as a company really rejoice. Being around that long and still being a family-owned company means a lot to us, and we know the farmers and ranchers that we work with every day, you know, strive to retain that legacy, and that means a lot to us. So talking a little bit about our solutions that we bring in a lot of different areas, but today the focus is going to be on animal performance and traceability. We talk a lot, and you've already heard it several times today, about data collection and how important that is. And we really feel like that's what we do. That's what we excel at, is the ability to help you monitor, track weights, gains, health, and performance of individual livestock, maintain that total animal history. You know, it's available chute side in the palm of your hand at any time you need it when you're with your livestock. And we bring a wide selection of options that are tailored to any operation that you might have, whether it be the smallest or the largest. We try to make sure all of those bases are covered. One of those things starts right at the beginning, that performance recorded at birth, and then moves right on into, you know, some of our entry-level systems, but these systems are also integrated. This one here is hooked up to an AgriWebb system, so that customer is being able to take those weights, input it directly into their AgriWebb equipment. And then all the way up to some of the more advanced units with the ability to record multiple traits, chute side, including calculative traits and values for drug treatments. As the world changes and things progress, the ability to know exactly what we're giving our animals and the amount that we're giving and the day it was given becomes ever more important. And our equipment is able to do that. It just spits out right to you what you need to give, so you're not overdosing or underdosing that animal. As we move forward in the changing landscape that we've got with data collection and livestock husbandry, one of the things that's becoming more and more important is those advanced analytics. And with that, we're able to provide chute side a more customized and historical view for our customers, whether, no matter what they're looking for, if they want to know what this female's calf average gain was last year, we can provide that chute side, and it really puts that data that's so important to decision making at your fingertips. One of the things we're really excited about here this coming year is our ability to bridge the gap with those long-term operations that are really wanting to know more and more about their livestock's pedigree, wanting to keep track of those historical traits that are, you know, ingrained in their breeding decisions that they've made. And so with that, we've offered a 3-generational pedigree that's available chute side on the scale head at the click of a button. You can look back and say, oh, this is sired by N68, but his her dam was D123, and it's just at the tip of your fingers. And then with that too, we understand that, you know, advanced data tracking allows those decisions to be made both on time on feed, rate of gains, and the inventory that becomes more and more important, knowing where livestock are, how many we have, where are they at on feed, and, you know, those solutions for those feeders and stocker operations are just as important. One of the really interesting things we've done here in the last year or so has been wireless. We've taken that data collection and those load bars and made them into a wireless application. They come in a couple different sizes, both for the alleyway or for going under a chute, depending on the unit and the operation type that you have. It's a complete game changer. You don't have to worry about tripping on wires anymore, damaging the wires that we know have been such an issue throughout history, and things that really shut you down on days you're working and processing livestock. The wireless application takes all of that off the table and just streamlines that system. And that's a simple picture there of our heavy duty wireless load bars underneath a big chute. They're designed robustly. They are built to a T, and with that wireless technology there, it's a total game changer. But we also do know that, you know, these are a little more of a familiar face. The wired bars, both alleyway and to go under our heavy chutes. But on top of that, we also do suspension scales for static weights. A lot of our small animal, small ruminant customers are using those suspension scales now, as well as people that are taking birth weights on cattle. And then the heaviest of all of those are going to be our HD weigh feet. They go into the biggest applications you can think of, whether it's going under a heavy silencer chute, or if you need to weigh elephants at the zoo. We've been there and done that, and those stainless steel feet are the ones that get the job done. The next piece to that puzzle, once we've built the scale and got the scale head and the load bars chosen, is the EID component. You know, there's a lot of talk and a lot of uncertainty in the world of where we're going with EID. What's that, you know, landscape going to look like? And for the moment, we're going to offer 2 very robust handheld readers that allow input of a lot of different traits. They're in your hand at your fingertips. The ability to mother your animal. So if you're putting EIDs in calves or in lambs or in goats, and you want to immediately tie that animal to its dam or its mother, you can do that with a simple link of an EID. It's something we've done for a long time and continue to see the value of that going forward into the industry. But things also, you know, need to be taken a little more of a hands-off approach. And with that, we've developed our panel readers. So there in the backside of the chute, you can see there's a large black antenna panel that's an EID reader reading those ear tags as they go into the chute. It really allows our customers to be hands-off. They can manage their scale head, they can manage their chute. They don't have to worry about having a wand or dropping a wand or keeping track of it. And so it really is a easy approach. And then the last piece of that puzzle is actually our drafters. More of a sheep application, but these are designed to sort and draft by weight and by trait. Very applicable, especially in those larger sheep operations that need speed and accuracy, and they don't have enough. And we all know there's never enough help chute side. Those drafters are definitely a game changer. You know, Gallagher's goal is to provide our customers with all the tools that they need to increase profitability and provide a better view of your animals. And so with that being said, for the last 85 years, we've tried to really build that hardware ecosystem and make sure that our customers have all the tools that they need to make their livestock more profitable and to make their operation a lasting legacy.
Amazing. Congratulations to on the pedigree work that you all are doing. That's phenomenal. And then obviously, as you were talking through the automatic, I guess I'm probably going to butcher what you called it, but the automatic EID scanner of when an animal goes right through and you don't even need the wand. That's phenomenal. So I'll do a shameless plug, but even I think one of the things for Wes, probably the most difficult element was choosing what products to showcase because Gallagher has such an array. So I will say we will we will have the website for anyone interested to learn more about the different solutions that Gallagher provides in our follow-up email. With our webinar recording, you'll definitely have that. And I think one of my favorite sections on the website is the stories from the field. So if you want to see how anybody's using, Gallagher, marketing guy here, you can
Another
just see.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, sorry. Gosh, kick me out. But I think there's a really cool library of stories there that folks can see how Gallagher is being used. So thank you so much, Wes. And again, happy birthday to Gallagher. We're going to toss things over to Mark Young with Landtrust, and excited to learn more about this one.
Great. Thanks, Matthew. Thanks for having me. Wes, I'm stoked to see an elephant get weighed on that thing. I want to see that. Anyway, I'm Mark Young. I'm the COO of Landtrust, based here in Bozeman, Montana. I grew up on a farm. I spent 6 years at Bayer Crop Science as the CTO of FieldView, bringing technology to ranchers. And for the past 3 years, I've been here at landtrust.com, which is a totally different way to think about revenue on the farm and ranch. Here we really think about the longevity of the working farm and ranch. And what I mean by that is, how are we going to set ourselves up to be profitable for the next generation to take over operations? And we really think about that financial longevity as the sum of a variety of income streams that the property can provide, not just from livestock, not just from row crops, but from outdoor recreation. And that could be anything from people coming out to pick mushrooms, people coming out to set up their telescopes and stargaze. We've had people come out to collect sheds in the spring. And then obviously we have people book hunting trips, fishing trips. We're now starting to get into RVs and camping and things like that. And so we also have farm and ranch activities. So we have producers on the platform that want to host people to show off their regenerative ag tour, or their eco-friendly chicken coops, or whatever it may be. And so it's a way to think about how you use all of your land, not just the high productivity parts. Growing up, a lot of times we look at wildlife as a nuisance. On our farm, we had a pretty good alfalfa hay business, and whitetail would keep alfalfa fields mowed down to a very nice 4 inches. And we had to get dispensation from the state to try and deal with them. And this kind of flips that on its head. Instead of whitetail being a nuisance on the property, they can actually be a revenue generator for the property. So that's what Landtrust does. We provide essentially a land sharing marketplace. So if you've ever used like an Airbnb to book someone's house or apartment or something like that, versus a hotel room, or a Turo to use someone's car, Landtrust lets you book someone's property essentially, and you get exclusive access to whatever that property owner has designed that package to do. So like I said, it could be for a hunting trip, it could be for a fishing trip, it could be to bring the family out to pet the calves in the spring, it could be for anything that your family wants to host on that property. So we facilitate ID verification by the guest. We manage all the calendaring for you to manage your operation and your guests. We handle all of the billing with the guest, refunds. We handle trip insurance for the guest. And then the other thing that folks always ask is, well, what about liability? Am I increasing my risk of, having these people out on my property? And we do all the sort of the legal legwork and the insurance legwork for you there as well. There's about 35 states that have special agritourism liability statutes, which reduce your liability as a landowner to nothing but gross negligence. We also cover accident coverage for the guest, so that is never an issue for you. We cover property damage for you. One of the things I get asked, at least by ranchers all the time, is, what if some hunter comes out and shoots one of my bulls? First off, the hunter is responsible. They will pay you back. If they don't, Landtrust will pay you back. And then ultimately we backstop the whole thing with $1 million liability policy, as well as work with you and your own insurance agent to make sure that your policy is in line with hosting for fee activities on your property. A couple other things, people ask, well, what if, I have friends that come out and use the ranch or the farm, or like I like to, Thanksgiving, the whole family gets together to shoot pheasants or, whatever. You're in complete control. There's no cost to join Landtrust. There's no lock-in for any period of time. We truly view it as a partnership with our producer partners. And what you can do is you decide what activities you want to host. You decide what fee you want to charge for those activities. You decide how often you want to host them. You can black out dates to make them unbookable for other guests so that you have the property to yourself. And, we have folks on Landtrust that run the complete gamut from, we've got a ranch in Nebraska that offers the ranch for 9 days during rifle mule deer season, and that's it, and that's all they do, and they make about $16,000 for that week, and that's free money that they put right into their pocket for the year. We have other ranches that host trips all the time. Could be for fishing access, could be for hiking, for photography. We have folks sometimes looking for like engagement photos, like a venue for that. We're even working with the Montana Film Bureau. They get inbound requests for producers who are either filming TV shows. Everyone will bring up Yellowstone. Yes, I've seen the show. Commercials for TV. And when these folks look for places, the Film Bureau needs relationships with private ranches to find. So we actually work with them as well. We pay for advertising. We advertise your property in quite a few markets. We have local Landtrust representatives that will come and visit your property, take pictures, sit down with you, build a plan around your goals. We will create your online listing. We will walk you through the whole thing. It is absolutely designed for working farms and ranches to be a minimal impact on your time. The guests expect a do-it-yourself experience. They're not expecting you to hold their hand or shepherd them around the property or anything, unless you want to. We have some landowners that never meet their guests, and we have some landowners that drive them around a side by side and talk to your all for 2 hours. So it really runs the gamut, but it is designed to help you add a net new revenue stream to the farm and ranch, full stop. And it is completely designed and to be flexible around your needs, your time requirements, what you want to do. And we're just here to help. We basically automate everything for you, from the legal perspective to ID verification. We do ratings on both sides. So landowners get to rate their experience with the guests get to rate their experience with the landowner. So what this does, full stop, is it puts everyone on their best behavior. And we have almost unanimous 5-star experiences across the board on both sides. And our landowners have been really impressed with the quality of the folks that Landtrust sends out to enjoy their property. So I probably said enough. You might have a lot of questions. We'll leave it for the Q&A, but that's probably enough of my time, and I'll pass it on to Stephanie.
I don't think I could say it any better than this is one of the coolest ways to add a net new revenue stream to one's farm or ranch. So I have to say that, but I also just put into the chat, if you want to learn more, obviously there's the website, but I also want to mention, I think you had brought up that you all just refer to your landowners as partners, and it's very much a partnership. And I think just the amount of time that we have spent with you all, every time we've learned more about the folks that you work with, it's felt very much like you're talking to a partner, even somebody who's a member of the family. So just have to reiterate that one there.
100%.
I appreciate it. And then Steph, yeah, we'll toss things over to you. Stephanie's not only somebody who works for AgriWebb, but also a rancher. So excited to get your perspective, Steph, on AgriWebb.
Hi, everybody. I'm going to share my screen quickly. Like Matt said, I am a rancher. I am a 6th generation rancher. I also work for AgriWebb. So in my professional setting, I'm working for AgriWebb, but I also use AgriWebb on our own operation. So I get to see it from 2 different lenses. So what is AgriWebb? AgriWebb is a livestock management platform. To the left here, you see what traditional record keeping on the ranches looks like. This is rancher chicken scratch. It could be any kind of notes that are happening throughout the day. It could be chute side data. And then on the right-hand side here, you'll see the AgriWebb platform. This is our mobile app, and this is going to show you just how easy it is to capture those records on the fly while you're out in the field and not have to use the pen and paper anymore. So when you drop that in the water tank, you can get a new iPhone, but you might not be able to get all of the ink back on the paper. We've got about 22 million animals under management on the platform, 16,000 producers. What we're really proud of, though, is this customer retention rate. So once we get somebody onboarded, they're lifetime customers for ours. And I'll point out that 1% that does leave us, a lot of those are not operating as ranches anymore. So it's not that they didn't love the platform, it's that they aren't ranching anymore. So what we believe here at AgriWebb is end-to-end ranch management. There's a lot of moving parts when it comes to running day-to-day operations at the ranch. So your animal management is important. Everything from your genetics, fertility, health and nutrition, weights, and also your pasture management. What are you inputting there? What's your grazing management strategy? If you're doing any kind of cropping or growing any hay, you can record those metrics as well. And then, even more important now, do you have a biosecurity plan? That's something that AgriWebb can assist you with. If you're a part of any value add programs, that audit and compliance, some tasks and planning, and then data-driven decisions on the ranch. So this is our digital mapping. This is super handy for those operations that have maybe had a map, don't have a map. This is going to give you the opportunity to build out a map with all of your infrastructure. So where your water tanks are, if you've got rain gauges. This also integrates with the Ranchbot platform, so you can have this all in one place. This makes it really easy for you to share this across the team, or even with just family from a succession planning standpoint, just having all of this information in one place. So it's livestock management at your fingertips. So you can capture all of these records, chute side or out in the field while you're sitting on a horse or sitting on the quad. You can capture all of these day-to-day records, assign tasks, and then from the desktop side of things, you can see all of that information and make some decisions based off of that. Us ranchers spend a lot of time writing things down and tracking a lot of things, but we don't spend a lot of time utilizing that information or making that information work for us. And then from the grazing management side of things, a lot of us are required to keep these metrics. I know myself personally, running on government leases, whether it be Forest Service or BLM, you may have some reporting requirements. This is going to allow you to do that really seamlessly, to have those timestamps and understand what your forage use is year to year from a historical standpoint, calculate those different in dates, out dates for reporting, or come up with a better grazing strategy if you're managing deeded land. And then connect your staff and drive human resource efficiency. So whether you're a huge corporate operation or a small family ranch, you'll be able to have everybody on your team on your AgriWebb platform and be able to have visibility across everything that needs to happen on the ranch. Whether that's a fence that needs to be fixed, or you're planning out your operational calendar for when you're going to be branding, moving cattle, or doing anything like that, you can assign those tasks to different team members and keep track of what's happened, what still needs to be done, and just make the operation run more efficiently all the way around. And like I mentioned earlier, we spend a lot of time capturing details, but we don't make our data work for us. AgriWebb offers a lot of pre-built out reports. They're going to give you the opportunity to look at your data from a historical standpoint, make better decisions for your ranch, make better grazing decisions, make better culling decisions on your cows, understand the performance of those animals, and be able to quickly recognize your overperformers or your underperformers that need to get on the truck and get out of here. So at the end of the day, we empower ranchers with the best tools to run a more profitable and sustainable operation.
Well done, Steph. Awesome. Well, I know that we are actually right on time. Want our panelists, if you're all right, to turn your screens back on, because we're going to start moving over to the Q&A section. So I will call, if folks on the line have any questions, feel free to put them into the Q&A portion of the chat. But I do see we have one question from Michelle, and this is for you, Jessica, and Ranchbot. She asked, does the subscription cover all the products you may purchase or just one? Also on the Ranchbot Lite, does it have replaceable batteries? And if so, what kind? And if not, what is the lifespan of the unit?
Yeah, those are wonderful questions. Thank you for asking that. So the subscriptions are separate for each of our solutions. Those are our satellite subscriptions. So each solution will have its own subscription there. Ranchbot Lite, yep, those batteries, that lifespan is about 3 to 4 years. And those, I believe, are lithium batteries. So yep, that's the lifespan. Was there another question?
I think you answered it.
Okay.
Obviously, feel free to, if there's more questions just based on that response, feel free to ask those. I actually have a question for this group, and I didn't necessarily set you up with this ahead of time, but there's just such an array of different solutions here. I'd be curious for each one of you, what would your tip be for folks on the line or just ranchers in general, and what does it look like to get started? As far as, is there an introductory product that they should look at? Are there questions they should be asking themselves? I might start with you, Wes, or somebody that can wave their hand first. I don't need to start with you.
Yeah.
Put you on the
I
spot.
can do that one. That one's easy.
right.
So anytime that we have a customer come to us and they're interested in data collection, wanting to do more, do better, it's always about, what is the operation like? What are your goals? And we really try to get invested with that customer and make sure that they get everything they need. And in today's world, it's pretty easy to get kind of overwhelmed. And so we try to take them through that, that journey to make sure they land where they want to. For us, that opening piece is going to be either our WO or our W1 scale heads. If the wireless is the route they like to take, the W1 is where they land. And if they're not concerned about wireless bars and they'd rather have the wired, they can land on the WO, and both of which are easily integratable to a lot of other third-party equipment. So it's a good place to start. As the more data collection begins, the more we step up. So, and that's generally where it gets really fun and interesting to help those customers, land on the right piece.
That's great. Mark, I might lob it over to you with Landtrust. I'd be curious, like somebody who might be on the fence, where should they start?
Yeah, I think it's interesting, right? So I mean, certainly if you already have people coming out and enjoying your property, then Landtrust is kind of a no-brainer. You can do everything you currently do and get covered by our insurance and our rating scheme and have us handle billing and everything. I mean, it just makes a ton of sense. I'd say there's two things that hold people back. One is because we are all busy working producers, we don't think we have the time, right? And that's, I'm sure the whole panel will agree, right? Like, that's why I love the Ranchbot thing. It saves me time, right? It's the single most sensitive thing I think that all producers are focused on. And so we do everything that we can to basically be the anti-pattern. There's not a mobile app to learn. There's no technology to implement. There's none of that. We sort of try to take all of that work off of your shoulders. We send you a text message. You can say yay, nay. We handle a lot of the stuff for you on our end, and that's how we do it. And it becomes a really easy way to add a pretty solid amount of money. I mean, our top earner this year will probably add $70,000 to their ranch income. That's a chunk of change, right? We've had folks right here in town. We had a big wildfire 2 years ago. They used the money from Landtrust to rebuild the barn that burned down, re-gravel the lane. I mean, there's just a lot of ways that this kind of extra revenue stream can really impact the farm and the ranch. We also see sort of the next generation. We see kids. Now the kid might be 40, but we see kids take over the Landtrust sort of business as a way to be a net add to the family operation, right? I even think it's great for like an FFA kid to take over and run. It's a great option. The other thing too is while we started with hunting, we have gone way beyond hunting now at this point. Like I said, we have all kinds of opportunities for people to come out and enjoy your property. And what I love about that is like some of our best ratings are the ones where the people are exposed to Sunday dinner with the Cowboys, and the rancher goes on and on about beef prices and complains about the Packers and all that. And like the people get a real sense of what it's like to live and work on a farm or a ranch, and they go away with such a better understanding of ag than for whatever reason they came for. And it just is a great sort of byproduct of the system.
I love that. I think there's some similarities, Steph. I might lob it over to you of even what Mark just shared, but what tips would you have for somebody who's looking at a solution like AgriWebb, and how do they get started?
Yeah, I think it's important to note that AgriWebb is really scalable. Whether you're a small family operation or a huge corporate operation, it's just about getting started. So whether you're a record-keeping pro or you're just starting to track some of those records and get the data that's in grandpa's head down onto paper, you can do that really seamlessly with AgriWebb. Me personally, our ranch didn't have a lot put down on paper. A lot of it was stored in grandpa's brain, and we're putting that down on virtual paper. And it's just allowing us a lot better opportunity for some succession planning. And it's important to remember when you are going to pick up technology, it needs to be easy to use. And that's what I love about AgriWebb. You can use your Gallagher wand, you can integrate with your Ranchbot monitors, and you can use your map to work out a deal with Landtrust. It's all in one place, and you don't have to fish around to multiple sources of data or technology to make it work for you. We really, truly keep it simple.
I love that. And Jessica, I might have you round things out with Ranchbot and a solution like that. Where should folks start?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is an easy question for me as well, like Wes said, because this is how a lot of our customers, begin with Ranchbot. It's just a single Ranchbot. And so where I would say, or where I would recommend folks start is with our main water level monitors. Get that up, get that running, see what that data looks like, see what you think of it, and then really think about what you want to do with that and see where you want to expand and what else you want to see. Because that main water level monitor, like I showed y'all, it has so many capabilities. You can do so many things with it. If you want to do pump control, you can do pump control. So that's where I would say I would start, because so many of our folks have started that way, and it just grows and grows and grows because they just didn't know, we've never had that kind of data before. And so that's definitely where I would recommend starting, is with our main water level monitors.
Yeah, too good. I think once somebody gets started, right, then at least the question that we get at AgriWebb quite a bit, I'm assuming it transcends with Ranchbot, Gallagher, and Landtrust, is what does support look like? So I'd be curious, once somebody does get up and running, I think we've touched on this a bit, but would love for you all to go around. If somebody has a question, whether they're in the, in the pasture or in the pickup truck or even in the office, what does support look like for each one of your organizations, and how do they get a hold of you? I might start with Wes. I saw you came off mute, so maybe we go there. You're ready.
Yeah, that one's easy too. The nice thing about Gallagher is we've got our North American offices in Kansas City. So it really allows us to be very centrally located. And then we also have a warehouse and tech support center in Canada as well, in Sound. So those guys, between those two locations, we have customer service as well as tech support. And then that doesn't even touch the guys that we have in the field. Our TM staff is excellent. There's one near everybody at any time. They're spread across the US and Canada, and those guys are experts in the field. They love to take the calls, and if they can't help, they'll pass you on to somebody that can. And that's kind of the nice thing for us, is the ability to just reach out. We can get an answer and get it back to you quick, because there's nothing more frustrating than being their shoot side and something not working. It's the worst feeling in the world. Been there, done that, and it's miserable.
We can definitely feel that as well. Yeah, you want to make sure everyone feels supported, especially when you're in the middle of some of the most hectic times on the operation. Steph, I might go down to you because you're next on my screen.
Yeah, so AgriWebb's got full-time customer support. We've even got introvert-friendly options with our help center, which is written articles about how to do everything in the platform. I know some ranchers can be introverted, so they may like to seek out their own help. We've also got a series of videos called the AgriWebb Academy that's going to walk you through step-by-step on how to do everything in the platform. And then we also have our contact support. So you're always able to contact one of us directly. We are a global company, so when we're going to sleep, Australia's just waking up. So you have almost full-time access to knowledgeable ranchers and farmers that work for AgriWebb that are happy to help you at any time.
I love it. Introvert friendly options, too good. I love that. Mark, I'll go next to you, and then Jessica, you can round us out.
Yeah, real simple. I mean, similar to Wes, we have real people. We have a phone when people answer it. It's kind of a novel concept. The other thing that I will say, and a lot of our ranchers will tell you this, and farmers on the platform, we proactively head off a lot of things before it ever gets to the rancher. Like because we've got sort of inbound interest from guests, we answer and field a lot of those questions before they ever make it all the way to the rancher. And so, like if we see a guest struggling to make a booking, or struggling, or if we see, some like when calves drop, ranchers don't get back, can't answer text messages or things. And so we'll actually intercede and say, hey, a lot of times we'll know who's calving and when, and we'll sort of understand what's going on with the ranch, and they can give us the heads up and stuff like that. And it just goes back to being a good partner. Like I mentioned, we really do take the time of our rancher and farmer partners seriously, to the point that we do everything we can to minimize the impact on them.
Yeah, very good. And Jessica, I'll let you round things out.
Yeah, so kind of similar to everybody else has said, you'll talk to a real person. You will more than likely talk to me, myself or my colleague Lauren. So we are real people on the other line. You're not waiting on a queue with a bunch of hotel lobby music. You will get real people. So you can either call us directly, or we also do have a chat function through our My Ranchbot portal. And again, that chat function is not to a robot. That is directly to Lauren and myself. So we will be the ones actually, replying back to you, helping you out. So, yep, it'll be directly through us. So we will always be there to answer the call or the message. I was rounding up cattle this weekend and got a call from a customer. So we are always there to help.
I mean, like, I love it, right? That's why we brought this group together, because definitely a trend that we all share is when you call us, you're going to talk to real people. And, or even if you're chatting with somebody that it's a bot maybe on online, you're still getting a response from a human that's on the other side. One last question before we, I guess, wrap things up, but it looks like, Steph, there's a question for you with AgriWebb. Do we favor cow-calf producers more, or is it stalker friendly as well?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think that we can cater to both. Huge concentration of cow-calf producers, but we also have a lot of hybrid operations that are running cow-calf and also running stalkers. And then we have some strict stalker operations as well. So you can set up your account to manage those animals separately, even though they might be commingled. You have a lot of options to separate those out, look at your different weight gains across groups, what your feed costs are. All of that can be done. And I should have mentioned earlier, it'll work 100% offline as well. So you do not need internet reception for it to work. So I would say that we don't cater to one more than the other. We've got functionality for both.
Amazing. Yes, very good about the offline, because we know ranching's not necessarily happening in the cities, right? It's in rural America, and that's why we love it. Well, at that, I'm just going to share my screen one last time just to make sure that we all have some orders and what will be coming your way. So hopefully folks can see my screen here. As promised, everybody's going to receive a recording of this webinar, whether you attended live or registered. So I know there'll be folks who are listening to this in the future. So hello. We also wanted to offer some of these. So AgriWebb is offering 30% off of your first year subscription. Ranchbot's offering 50% off of your first year subscription as well. And it's valid to the end of the month. And then Landtrust is being very generous in offering a 5% more recreational income share. Mark, I hope I didn't butcher that for you. But at the end of the day, get in touch with the Landtrust team just to make sure in case you guys wanted to redeem any of these offers. So at that, just want to thank everybody for joining, especially Ranchbot, Gallagher, Landtrust. Just thank you for your time and joining, and everybody who jumped on today. I know fall's really busy, but excited that you all were able to join us. And again, we will have a follow-up email with ways to get in touch with everybody who's joined.